Yo, what it dooski, Teddy Brewski? What's the deal? Shaquille O'Neal, what's the word, Larry Bird? It's your boy Reactions, man. Remo's Reactions TV. We back with another one. And first and foremost, I want to thank the Most High for another day, man. Just came from work. Had to get back to work, you know what I mean? And get this content busting, man, and get out in these YouTube streets, man. If you're new to the channel, please and thank you. Hit that subscribe. We're on the road to 5K, 10K. We're going to spike it up to 15K. Can you hear me? We're being realistic with the situation. This is, you know what I mean? Pretty much in a nutshell, everything I do over here at Reactions is for entertainment and educational purposes. I do not own this content. Make sure I go to Vlad TV and support him. And yeah, so with no further ado, man, your boy, allegedly the mastermind behind the Young Dove hit and everything, just got found not guilty. Got into a situation with Seti Nash, you know, over the Instagram. And now he pops up on Vlad TV. So, yeah, if y'all new, if y'all just, you know, scrolling across my video, man, just hit that subscribe even if you don't watch my shit, man. I still appreciate your support. I want you to, but you ain't got to. But let's get to it, man. Hernandez Govan sits down with Vlad TV. Let's get this money.
All right, here we go. Today we have Hernandez Govan, who just was found not guilty by a Memphis jury of first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit first-degree murder for the killing of young Dolph. Today he joins us to do his first interview after the case. Hernandez, welcome to Vlad TV.
Appreciate you for having me.
Well, me and you have actually been talking for a while.
Correct.
And we were supposed to do this interview a while back, but then things kind of went haywire, so Here we are today. So I want to start at the very beginning. Born and raised in Memphis?
Correct.
Now, you got into a lot of trouble over the course of your life. Yeah. So, over 26 years, you were in and out of jail for various crimes like aggravated assault, drug possession, and so forth.
Yes.
Why are you getting in trouble so much?
Well, I'm sure you know I grew up in an environment called Orange Mound, home of A-Ball and MJG. So, you know, it's a pretty rough environment to say it in a nice way. So, you know, growing up, that was all around me. It was all I seen.
What was the longest bid that you did?
5.
For what?
Gun possession and drugs.
This nigga Vlad, for what?
Okay, so leading up to the incident, you and Big Joe had a relationship.
Yes. He was an associate of mine, yes, sir.
You were how old when you met him?
Met Jook when I was around between 22 25 years of age.
Okay. You guys used to gamble together?
Yeah, that's how we met, gambling.
Okay, and you guys are like almost cousins?
Almost cousins is crazy.
His mom married someone years ago. Was in a relationship with someone years ago that I was.
See, what Vlad is, he's connecting, he's giving the people the dots that's connected to, you know, and all this is allegedly connected to Jook, Yo Gotti, CMG, what part he plays, and, you know, knowing PRE with Dolph at them side. So I see where he's going with it. He's actually been strategic. You know, hit that like button, man. Racks.
That I'm very close to. I'll just say that. And so, you know, we used to, you know, that's how we became close associates back in the day. Got comfortable with each other gambling and things like that.
Okay, and Big Jook is the brother of Yo Gotti.
Yes, sir.
Now, what's your relationship with Yo Gotti?
I don't have a relationship with him. I never met him, never did any business with him whatsoever. That's why it was strange to me, all the comments and hoorah on social media accusing me of doing things that was absolutely not true, because I never had any dealings with Yo Gotti whatsoever, period.
Now, what about young Dolph?
Yeah, I knew Dolph personally, yes, sir. We did business years ago before he actually.
Just so you know, saying yes, sir is just diabolical, bro. Like, you gotta relax. Don't ever say yes, sir to Vlad again. Ever.
Blew up. He was rapping at the time, but he hadn't blown up yet. You know, just being in the streets, selling petty marijuana back and forth. So, yeah, I knew Dolph personally. He was a good dude.
Allegedly.
Okay, and you also had a relationship with Daddy O, who's the owner of Paper Out Records.
Correct. Yes,
okay.
Sir.
What's that relationship about?
Yes, sir.
Just the same.
This nigga saying yes sir like he talking to the motherfucking police. Like, yo, bro, am I tweaking or no?
What about young Dolph?
Yeah, I know Dolph. I knew Dolph personally. Yes, sir. We did business years ago before he actually blew up. He was rapping at the time, but he hadn't blown up yet. Just being in the streets, selling petty marijuana back and forth. So, yeah, I knew Dolph personally. He was a good dude.
Okay, and you also had a relationship with Daddy O, who's the owner of Paper Out Records.
Correct. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
what's that relationship about?
Yes, sir.
Just the same. I met Daddy O from, I got a brother named Ziploc from South Memphis. And we used to just sell petty marijuana years ago.
Yo, saying yes sir to a motherfucker that's probably your age or maybe even younger is crazy to me. He's saying yes sir like he's talking to a fucking police officer. Am I tripping? Get out in the comments, bro. I don't know. Like, this is crazy to me, man. Hey, yo. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Who the fuck is like, what? That's how you know motherfucker been institutionalized, man. Listen to this shit, man.
Social media accusing me of doing things that was absolutely not true because I never had any dealings with Yo Gotti whatsoever, period.
Now, what about young Dolph?
Yeah, I knew Dolph personally. Yes, sir. We did business years ago before he actually blew up. He was rapping at the time, but he hadn't blown up yet. Just being in the streets, selling petty marijuana back and forth. So, yeah, I knew Dolph personally. He was a good dude.
Okay, and you also had a relationship with Daddy O, who's the owner of Paper Out Records.
Correct. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
what's that relationship about?
Just the same. I met Daddy O from, I got a brother named Ziploc from South Memphis. And we used to just sell petty marijuana years ago, in and out of hotel rooms when we were younger, just doing our thing, just trying to hustle.
Now, you and Dolph, did you ever have a falling out, or did you have a good relationship overall?
Never had a falling out with Dolph. We did a couple transactions years and years ago. We never had a reason to fall out. I'm not a rapper, Dolph was just this one. He had 1 foot in and 1 foot out, and at the beginning of his music career, and so anytime we met up and did business, it was all good. Never had an issue.
Well, at one point, young Dolph and Yo Gotti started getting into it. Do you know the reason why the friction actually started? Because you hear like 20 different stories.
Well, from what I understand, I know Gotti tried to sign him.
That was a question. If you listen to him, he takes a breath. He like guilt setting in. You hear me? Don't let it go over your head, y'all. Pause. But as he's asking questions, as Vlad TV is asking him questions about Dolph, on this gesture right here, he goes, because he's asking him to explain. That's a sign of guilt, a sign of stress, a sign of depression. It's a bunch of different signs in one, just by that little breath. Like, damn, he asking me another question. Like, check it out. Hold up. Tell me if I'm tweaking.
I'm not a rapper, Dolph was just this one. He had 1 foot in and 1 foot out.
Watch.
And at the beginning of his music career, and so anytime we met up and did business, it was all good. Never had an issue.
Watch right here.
Well, at one point, young Dolph and Yo Gotti started getting into it. Do you know the reason why the friction actually started? Because
right here, look, listen.
You hear like 20 different stories.
Well, from what I understand, I know Gotti tried to sign him years ago.
That's a nervous breath.
And, for whatever reason, Dolph decided not.
That's what you call a nervous breath. A nervous breath intake, to where that breather gave him a little split second, some time to think of something, that quick, to where he don't, you feel me, fuck up. At least that's what I'm allegedly. You feel me? But I don't know.
Do you know the reason why the friction actually started? Because you hear like 20 different stories.
Well, from what I understand, I know Gotti tried to sign him years ago. And, for whatever reason, Dolph decided not to. I think Dolph was close friends with Gucci Mane at the time. Gucci and Gotti relationship kind of deteriorated over the years. And I think that just all played a factor, or whatever the case may be. Dolph deciding not to sign and giving his reasons for not wanting to sign the CMG. The story about it being about a girl or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, I heard that also.
Yeah, that's absolutely not true. It was just a potential business deal gone bad, from what I understand.
Well, you have rap beefs where people do diss records against each other, but in this case, it escalated into actual violence. Dolph got shot up in LA at one point, and then he was in a bulletproof car. They got shot up, down south at a later point. So there was just a lot of chaos that was happening during that time. From your point of view, you don't know Gotti, but you're friends with Jook, and you also know Dolph. What did you think about these things escalating in Memphis and all over the South?
Well, actually, when you sit back and you analyze everything, and just giving my honest opinion on it, and I mean, numerous of other people have said what I'm about to say. I don't think you can go find one song where you hear Yo Gotti dissing Dolph. It was more so Dolph.
Hold up. See, right there. Right there. Hit the fucking like button. Excuse my French. Subscribe. Right there. This is where he's trying to switch the narrative. He said, I don't think you could ever go back and find a Yo Gotti song dissing Dolph. Get in the comments, y'all. Yo, listen. Is there a track out there with Yo Gotti dissing Dolph? Because I could have swore I heard one. But nevertheless, man, that's irregardless. You hear me? Like, right there, you just showing you saw him what side you on, bruh. And you don't even know it. Remo's Reactions TV, man. Stop playing. Look at this shit. Y'all, look. I pointed this shit out before anybody did. Look at this.
When you sit back and you analyze everything, and just giving my honest opinion on it, and I mean, numerous of other people have said what I'm about to say. I don't think you can go find one song where you hear Yo Gotti dissing Dolph. It was more so Dolph every time. Every other song he dropped, he was mentioning Gotti and Jook, and sometimes his family. And so I think they kind of lit the fire to it, escalated it,
Yo, that's
or whatever the case may be. I do know of a situation, not the name drop, but we got a very well-known, respected NBA player from our city that wanted to see the beef end. He reached out to a well-respected club promoter in Memphis, Tennessee, and asked him to reach out.
Once again, he's painting a picture like Dolph was the one that was like, bro, you gotta look how he trying to orchestrate this shit. But a nigga like Reactions, man, I'm a decipher that shit, break that shit down, cause he ain't doing nothing but letting y'all know that what side he on. That's it. But he throwing a spin move. The spin is crazy. Like, it's a muscle. He calms down. He gotta relax.
Both parties and try to dead the beef. Well, he reached out to Gotti.
How you know?
And Gotti was all for it. He was open to having a conversation with Dolph.
Defending Gotti. Defending Yo Gotti. Once again, stop playing, bro.
possibly meeting up to put an end to it. When this particular club promoter reached out to Dolph said, fuck no. Hung up the phone in his...
You know what, man? Rest in peace, Dolph. Even rest in peace, Jook. You know what I mean? I'm a content creator, man, but shit looking fishy on your behalf, man. Remo's Reaction TV. Get down in the comments. Let me know what y'all think. Is Hernandez Govan capping? Is he choosing, is he letting it subliminally be known who he rocking with? Because from that, it looked like he tried to paint Dolph in a combative manner, like he didn't want to squash nothing. You feel me? And I don't know. I need y'all to let me know. We out of here. Remo's Reactions TV. Part 2 coming up next.